Hey everyone, and welcome. If you're gearing up for any major finance or civil services exam in India, you're going to want to pay close attention. The RBI has just rolled out its new playbook for the entire financial sector. Today, we're zeroing in on the most critical piece of that puzzle, the Omnibus framework for self-regulatory organizations. Let's dive right in.
So you have to wonder, right? With India's financial world just exploding, we're talking fintechs, digital lenders, new payment systems everywhere. How does the RBI keep up? Trying to regulate every single player from the top down? Well, that's becoming nearly impossible. So the RBI's answer isn't just more rules from them, but a whole new approach built on partnership.
Exactly. The RBI is calling this a force multiplier. Think about it. Instead of just being the cop on the beat, the goal is to get the industry's own experts to build compliance from the inside out. It's a really big shift from pure oversight to real collaboration. And the star player at the center of this whole strategy? The SRO. So, what on earth is an SRO? Well, the easiest way to think about it is an industry body that actually has teeth. It's formed by the players within a specific sector, like all the fintechs or the non-banking financial companies getting together to set and enforce rules for themselves. All of this, of course, happens under the watchful eye of the RBI. These organizations are the real heart of our story today.
Okay, before we jump into all the specific rules, and trust me, there are a few key numbers coming up that are perfect for your exam notes, we first need to understand what really makes an SRO tick. What are its core characteristics, and why is the RBI putting so much faith in them? This slide right here basically lays out the DNA of any good SRO. You can think of these as its 6 essential pillars. First, it needs the authority to actually make its rules stick. Then, objectivity to be a fair referee for everyone. It's got to build a strong compliance culture. It also absolutely must have clear processes for dispute resolution and surveillance to spot problems early. And here's the kicker. It's not just about policing. It's about ecosystem development, making the whole sector better. These keywords, definitely something to highlight in your notes.
Okay, so we know what an SRO is made of, but what does it actually do? Well, here's where it gets really interesting. An SRO has this dual responsibility. It's kind of like it's serving two masters. It has to serve its own members, the companies that created it, but it also has a major duty to the main regulator, the RBI. Getting this balance right is everything. And this table just illustrates that balancing act perfectly. See, towards its members, it's a guide. It's promoting best practices, setting a code of conduct, handling grievances. But towards the RBI, it's an ally. It's a bridge for communication. It reports violations and gives the RBI the ground-level data it needs to make smarter policies. It's a total two-way street. And for everyone prepping for exams, you're going to love this. Here's a super handy mnemonic to remember the SRO's duties to the RBI. Just remember the word RISE. R is for report. It has to tell the RBI about any rule breaking. I is for inspect. It has to open its books for the RBI. S is for submit. It's got to hand in an annual report and other data. And E is for engage. It has to be that vital communication bridge. RISE. Simple, right? And super effective for your revision. All right, now for the part you've been waiting for, the eligibility criteria. This is where we get into the nitty-gritty numbers and specific rules. I'd have a pen ready because these are prime candidates for multiple choice questions. First things first, and this one is foundational. A potential SRO absolutely cannot be a for-profit business. It must be registered as a Section 8 company. That's non-negotiable. This whole setup ensures that the SRO's main goal is the health of the sector, not lining the pockets of shareholders. Next up, let's talk about ownership. No single company, or even a group of related companies, can own 10% or more of the SRL. Now, this rule is crucial. It's designed to prevent something called regulatory capture, which is basically a fancy way of saying you don't want one or two big fish controlling the whole pond and making rules that only help themselves. This cap makes sure the SRO works for everyone. Now for a key rule on governance. At least 1/3 of the SRO's board has to be made up of independent directors. So who are these people? Well, they're folks with no direct ties to the companies being regulated. This brings in a fresh outside perspective, helps prevent conflicts of interest, and makes sure the SRO's decisions really do serve the entire sector. So how does an organization actually get the green light from the RBI? The process is pretty straightforward. First, they submit a detailed application with all their key documents.
Second, the RBI does a deep dive, including a fit and proper check on the company and its directors to make sure they're up to snuff. And finally, if they pass all the tests, they get that official letter of recognition. All right, we've covered the what, the why, and the how. Now let's bring it all together with a couple of final, really important points, and of course, the ultimate summary slide you've been waiting for. Now here's a crucial detail that might actually surprise you. Membership in an SRO is voluntary. Yep, you heard that right. The RBI isn't forcing any company to join. This puts all the pressure on the SROs themselves to be effective and offer real value to convince companies that joining is a good idea. Okay, this is it, your final revision flashcard. I seriously suggest you take a screenshot of this. Let's run through it one last time. An SRO is a Section 8 not-for-profit company. The key governance rules: max 10% shareholding and a minimum of 1/3 independent directors. Its core job: enforce a code of conduct. Its duty to the RBI is easy to remember with RISE. Membership is voluntary. And never forget the overall goal: to complement, not replace, the RBI's oversight. So what does this all boil down to? We're left with a really big question. The RBI is making a calculated bet here, trusting the industry to step up and help regulate itself. The framework looks solid, but success is all going to come down to execution. So will these new SROs actually become the architects of a more stable financial India? Well, only time will tell. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.